Let's take a quick look at the Office 2016 user interface. The first thing we're going to look at is the ribbon. Now the ribbon is up here at the top, and with the ribbon is how you pretty much navigate throughout the entire application. You have your File tab. Right now I'm in the Home tab, sorry. You can see the Home tab underlined here. If I click it, nothing happens because this is the entire tab and this is the entire ribbon for that tab. If I were to click on this File tab right here, you'll notice that everything changes, and in order for me to get back, it gives me a lot of information about the application. I can save things here. As you can see, I have this menu over here to export, save, print, and those sort of things, start a new document. Or I can just go back here with the arrow and get back to where I once was. Now this ribbon is pretty interesting because it actually has a hidden menu in here. So let's say if I was to select something like a picture, a table, a chart, or anything like that, a contextual menu will appear on the tab that contains commands specific to that type of object selected. So it'll be depending on what you have selected and what's visible. Let me give you an example of that. If I were to go here, go Insert, now I'm in the Insert tab. I'm going to go and insert a shape. So I'm going down to the shapes and I'm going to drag a shape here. Now as soon as I did that, you notice this shape tab opened up and it actually navigated me to the shape tab. That's why it's underlined, and this is all the elements for the shape. So if I were to deselect that, you notice the shape tab is gone, and if I ever want it back again, I can go ahead and do that. Just click on the shape and the shape format tab will then open up. Now within the tabs, well, let's say within the ribbon, there are these dialog launchers that exist between each one, and a good example of that, I'm going to go here to the Home tab. A good example of that would be here in the Paragraph tab. Right now it's grayed because there's nothing really that I have highlighted or I have selected that I'm using that actually can use this. But if I were to select this, I'm going to delete that by hitting the delete key. If I were to type something here, you'll notice now that because I don't have that shape selected, it is now available, and I can go ahead and start editing this paragraph in any sort of way that I see fit. But what I wanted to show you is this dialog launcher right here. When I click on that dialog launcher, I get more properties that I'm able to manipulate to be able to change things up. And I can also see a preview of how that will look. So if I wanted this to move over a little bit, as you can see down here, it's moving over a little bit. So if you were going to format this, let's say for writing a book, or for, let's say, writing a script, or doing some sort of promotional content, you can easily do that and prepare it by utilizing this dialog launcher. Now when speaking about different elements in the ribbons, you can actually start focusing on what group they're in. So an example of that would be down here where you see the clipboard, the font, and paragraph styles, and so on. The ribbon will always have these titles at the bottom because these titles represent different groups, and the groups are actually segmented by the little lines on the left and the right side of the individual groups. So if I say go to the clipboard group in the Home tab, you'll know exactly where that is. Now, one thing you need to understand about all of the Office products, this is Word, Access, Excel, is that these concepts of the tabs and the ribbons exist throughout all of them. And the main thing you need to understand is that they all have a Home tab that actually contains the most common used commands for that application. So when you're in Word, it'll have the things that you normally would use. When you're in Excel, it'll have those things that you normally use. So just understand that the Home tab is actually a tab that actually has a lot of different components or different groups in there that's related to all these other tabs. So the editing tab, this editing area over here, or this voice area, this learning tools area, actually exists another place. The paragraph area exists some other place, and the font area also exists another place, but they are all grouped here because they're the most used items here. So that's a pretty straightforward overview of this ribbon and the tabs, but there is another menu that we want to focus on, or actually know about, that makes our life a lot easier when working in all of the Office products, and that's the mini toolbar. A good example of that, here, let me paste some text in here. All right, so this is some text that's from some website that does stories and stuff like that. But the idea here is to have some text so that way I can show you the other menu aside from the menu that's here. So the menu I'm looking at here is the mini toolbar. Now, if I were to just select here, I won't get it. But if I right click on here, I'll get two menus. I get this mini toolbar here, which allows me to do a lot of the things that I would do here up in the font area and the paragraph area. For instance, maybe I want to go ahead and change the back color to this. So I highlight it and I can actually remove that color or add a color to whatever's highlighted. Now, once I selected that, that's the highlighter, and I can just go ahead and highlight it to whatever I want. If I right click on this, I can change that highlight color and go like that and change that highlight color. I can highlight it again and right click, and whatever I highlight is going to be affected by whatever I do here. As you can see, it's changing all of these elements. Underline, bold. I can even change the font, the size, and change the style. All of that is also available up here, but it was a lot easier to do it within the mini toolbar. Now, many of these things also can be accessed through shortcut keys. So the main shortcut keys you're going to want to be aware of is copy and paste, it's cut, it's undo, open, and save. Those are the basic ones that you can focus on right now, and you can learn a lot more. Shortcut keys is going to make your life a lot easier and allow you to do things a lot faster. So let's say if I wanted to copy a part of this, I can highlight it by taking my mouse, dragging it across the text, and I want to copy it. So I'm going to hit Control C on my keyboard. So hold Control down and tap C. Then I'm going to select where I want to paste that. So I'm going to go right now. If I try to click down here, there is nothing down here, not even blank space. In order for me to get down here with my mouse cursor, I would have to go to the edge of this and hit Enter to make some space. And then I can hit Control V to paste what I just copied. So that's how we copy and paste. And I understand that these are shortcut keys, but understand that shortcut keys are a part of the interface. Okay, it's part of the user interface that allows you to access things that's in there without actually going here to home or insert or file, edit, and that sort of stuff. So that's the copy and paste. The other one is the undo. So if I didn't want that, actually, I want to undo that, I'm going to hit Control Z. And that will undo anything that I recently did. Now, instead of me going up here and hitting undo, or going over here and hitting redo, Control Z will undo, and Control Y will redo. So this saves me a lot of time from coming here, going here. So these shortcut keys are extremely important that you remember these because they make life a lot easier. Let me give you another example. I want to be able to open something, right? So what do you normally do? You go here to File, you go here to Open, right? Instead of doing that, I'll hit Control O, and it automatically does that for me. Let's just say I wanted to save this. I'll hit Control S, and it automatically goes to saving instead of me going here to File, Save, or Save As. Okay, so the main shortcut keys you want to remember for right now is Control C, Control X, Control V, Control Z, Control O, and Control S. Okay, so Control C is copy, Control X is cut, Control V is paste, Control Z is undo, Control O is open, and Control S is save. So let's look at a few other helpful menu items that's embedded in the interface. So let's say I wrote this and I wanted to actually look up a different word for this. A really easy way to do that is to highlight the word. And I'm going to right click on that. Now I'm going to go here to synonyms. And as you can see, it automatically changes that word that I highlighted to a synonym that it suggested. So let's say kill. I'm going to highlight that. And here's one way you can highlight. The easiest way to highlight a word is put your mouse in between the word and double click. And then I'm going to right click synonym, and then I can say slay. Okay, so that's a really helpful shortcut that's embedded in the interface of all of the Office products. So the other menu item here, and I alluded to it earlier, is this quick access toolbar up here. Now this quick access toolbar gives you access to those shortcut keys I was just telling you about. And the shortcut keys give you access to this menu bar. Okay, so this is why I was saying the shortcut keys are part of the interface. So right here we have our save button, we have our undo, we have our redo. So if I just click on that, you'll see it's undoing what I previously did, and then I can redo what I previously did. And just remember, the shortcut keys are much faster to do this, and you have other things that you can actually add into this bar. That's something we'll get into later, but for right now, understand that you have this quick access bar, you have the access menu here, this mini menu here, and you also have this menu here, and you have your menu up here with the tabs and the ribbons there with the headers or the groupings at the bottom there. So hopefully this was helpful to you. There's one more thing. If you actually do need help directly from Microsoft and this system, there's an easier way to do this. So what we want to do is make sure that we are inside of the Home tab. So I'm going to go to the Home tab just to make sure we're all on the same page. So let's say if I wanted help on, let's say, how to utilize the clipboard. The best way to do that is to hit F1 on your keyboard, and the help menu will pop up, and I can just type the command that I want help on. So I'll type clipboard, and as you can see, it's helping me here. I can say view clipboard, and once I do that, as you can see here, it can take me directly to where I'm asking about. So instead of me going to home to the clipboard, it actually did that for me, and it opened up the menu or the options for the clipboard, and to be able to view the clipboard. So whatever's inside the clipboard will show up here. A really good example of that is I'm going to go to a web page, and I'm just going to highlight something, and I'm going to copy it. And you notice you saw this pop up in the clipboard because I copied it from some other place, that's in the clipboard. And everything that's in your computer clipboard will show up here. And that's simply from me going here and typing clipboard and getting those commands. That's how I learned how to do that. Not literally that's how I learned, but that's how you can learn more about the interface. And with this clipboard viewer, I can go over here and I can just decide what I want to bring inside of this area over here. So I can go here, and there's a menu over here, and I can just paste it like right there. Let's say I go down here, I go to this menu, and I can paste that there. And you can have a clipboard full of things because it holds an array of things in here in the clipboard. You can actually change the options here, but that was a quick example of using the clipboard. I didn't intend on us learning about the clipboard viewer. I just really wanted you to understand more about this help menu that you're able to use. Whenever you have any questions about the interface or anything about the documentation, you can actually use this help, and it'll even find web portals that you're able to go to get more help. Hopefully this video was helpful to you. Make sure that you subscribe, make sure you share this video, and I'll see you guys next time.